Hello guys, this is Avcoor, and I want to talk about Magic Attack in this Final Fantasy Ever Crisis video because this is a very important stat, but people don't understand the value of its importance and why it increases daily. So first off, everybody's doing tower, and we're beginning to realize that sometimes physical attack is not enough. Certain enemies are actually weak versus magical attacks. And if you build characters for a specific type, like, to be honest, if I didn't have Sephiroth and Aerith, my team would be lopsided more to physical attack because I use Barret and Cloud, and that's been kind of off-putting for me. The more you grow in this game, the more you realize that both stats are equally important. The thing about it is, physical attack is a little more consistent since everybody uses physical attack in their basic attacks. But one thing is to understand, there is one character that only uses magic attack, and that's Aerith. You could build her physically, but it's not really advised, right? Because she only has one physical attacking weapon. It does non-elemental physical damage, very high multiplier, but like I said, it's not preferred. So why do I think that magic attack is the future? Because simply put, more enemies we're finding are becoming weak to magical attack as opposed to physical attack. There's only so many characters you can build, right? The devs have really thrown us a loop. With Iron Giant, he's only weak versus physical attack. But the devs like to alternate their monsters in their strategy. So we can expect the next guy to come to be weak versus magic attack. And that has been a consistent theme. So I would like to show you a couple of magical weapons that are really good. And at the end, I'll talk about some strategies in order to make the most of magical based weapons and strategies. So let's put the filter on and we'll talk about some really good magic weapons that will help you out. Because you do need to think about your sub weapons. You really need to take that into consideration. And there's a couple, I think 6 really good weapons that, yeah, 6 really good weapons that really get you there. So we're actually going to start with Absolute Royal, because Absolute Royal is one of the best weapons in order to start building your magic attack subset. So we'll go into why that is. First of all, uninvested. I'm talking about uninvested. Just you getting a 5-star. You just pulling a 5-star out of your hat. You get a lucky roll. You're looking at 24 points of magic attack. Divide that by 2 and you're getting 12 points. With magic attack, like any other substat, you only need to hit the 55 points in order to get there. But when you get there, it actually makes a big difference on how much DPS you can do. So if you absolutely have to, I think you really need to just look at Absolute Royal and just say, if I get it, you need to start leveling up, at least to level 80. Because this is a really good weapon. And on top of that, you get Ice Potency. So your Ice Potency will actually be 9 divided by 2, which is 4.5, so you'll actually get 4 points. And 4 points will not get you into the 2 bin, but there's another weapon that actually has Ice Potency and Magic Attack on it. So this weapon is pretty solid. And fully invested, you're hitting 40 points of Magic Attack, and when you divide it by 2, that's actually 20, which is really good. And when you divide 2 into 36, you get 18 points of boost ice, which is really good. That nets you in the 3 bin. This flat in your subset. So Absolute Royal is absolutely important for your magic attack. And funny enough, Jiggy Bam will become more important in the future because we are seeing enemies weak versus Earth. Uninvested, you're getting a 24-9. That is going to be a consistent thing in this video, the 24-9, because I would like to make guides for free-to-play player, also whales. When you look at that, that's 12 points, and that's 4.5 points of boost earth potency. And for some reason, Digifam is really hard to get for some reason. I personally haven't built Glen yet to that point where I'm really starting to farm for weapons. But Jiggy Fam is a good investment, especially since Earth is pretty much new territory, as we haven't really seen any weapon that actually has the Arcanum or the Earth boost ability. So this weapon will become more important when that character comes out that uses Earth attacks. So just look out for Jiggy Fam. If you have one or two, I think you should take it to level 80. Right now, mine is at level 60, but it will get to 80. That's one of the goals that I have. Of course, Edge Wings is like one of the kings of Magic Attack because it's the flagship weapon of Sephiroth. I know people are talking about Hardbinger, but Edge Wings is something that you should invest in no matter what you're doing. If you're a Sephiroth player or if you're thinking about playing Sephiroth, this is something you should invest in. Of course, you get to 24-9, and you go up, you get the 40-36, which is always good. You get 800 magic ice damage, but it pairs with Absolute Royal, so these two weapons should always be used in conjunction with each other. Very solid weapon set right there. So, what's the next one? Of course, we're going to talk about Sun Umbrella. Sun Umbrella is very important for Magic builds. For her personally, it's a good weapon. It's something that I've been building. Now that I've maxed out her, what's it called? I forgot her weapon called, the healing weapon. Fairy Tale. This is the next weapon because it's offering something really special. Not only are you getting the 24-9, but now the 9 is boost magic ability potency. And this is really good for magic types because once your command gog hits max, you're actually getting more magic ability damage. And sometimes that's even better than having elemental potency because you can actually put elemental potency on other weapons, but boost magic ability potency is really rare and hard to get. And when you get fully max invested, you're hitting 36. And 36 is 13, so you're actually hitting the 2-bid, which is nice. This weapon is really good if you're looking for a subset weapon in order to build magic. Because the thing about magic is, people don't really build on it. So you may not have the weapons necessary in order to actually pump your magic attack stat. Because when you look at it, Sephiroth has some good weapons. Matt, so it's Sephiroth, Matt, what, Zack. Then you have Red 13. Then you have Aerith. At least one character gets one apiece, so they're kind of scattered. So it's hard to focus on one. Say for if you're a Sephiroth player, you're gonna have two. If you're an Aerith player, you're gonna have two. But unlike the physical attack weapons, they're a little harder to build. So keep that in mind. That's why I'm doing this video because it is really difficult because you just don't know what weapons are good and what weapons are bad. So of course, Wizard Staff is another weapon that Aerith has. And you're going to see we hit that 24-9 that I'm talking about. That's uninvested. That's 12 points of magic attack, and that's 4.5 of boost lightning potential, which only nets you in the 1-bid. But you're only 1 point away, so it's not that bad. It's not that bad. I mean, Thundaga itself is a good skill, but we're only looking at it from the R ability standpoint, as these are components that you would use to build a subset for your magic in order to raise up your magic attack stat. And of course, Tiger Fangs is really good because it comes with boost crit potential, but ultimately it's kind of weak because it doesn't hit the 24. But it's still a good weapon. And it's a good weapon for Tifa as it does do the magic attack down, so it's a really good weapon. So Barrett actually hits the 24-9 as well. But unlike other weapons, he gets the fire boost potency. So you see, you get fire, you get lightning here, you get ice on 2 of them, you get earth, but we don't have a water yet, and we don't have a wind, so we're missing those things. And last but not least is cloud. Cloud's mental saber is actually solid because it hits the 24-9 and you get boost ability potency, which is not as potent for magic, but it still actually produces some potency both on the magic and physical attack side. So when we look at these weapons, there's really 6 that stand out. It's mental saber, it's flame projector, it's wizard staff, sun umbrella, of course edge wings, Jiggy Fam, and Absolute Royal. These are the 7 top weapons in order to build your magic attack stat. And so how would you do that? So let's take a character that we really wanted to build their magic attack stat. Any character will do. So we'll look at Sephiroth. Say we want to build Sephiroth and we want to build his magic attack. How would we do that? Of course, we'll start with Edge Wings because that's his best magic attack damaging weapon. And then we'll give him Alloy Sword. So we're already looking at 1,216. And we actually put it on his costume because costumes actually have magic attack stats, so it goes up a little higher. And we can look at our abilities to see where we're at. So right now we're at 35. Yeah, so we're at 40. We're at 40. Should be at 40. So we need actually 15 more points. So you go to filter again. All right. We go here. And so we look at our abilities again. So we're missing 2 points actually to actually max this out. So we're gonna look again, and we're gonna pick Absolute Royal since that will actually boost up ice potency. So we look at it again, and it's pretty much set. So it's pretty much set. But notice that I'm not really hitting the numbers that I want because my weapons are weak. And that's the problem with magic attack weapons. You really need to focus on them and build up their stars. And I'm at that point, and you are at that point where we actually have to look at our sub weapons. And you're gonna have to change your wish list. I know this is weird, but once we hit a certain level, our wish list is going to have to change in order to include different weapons from different characters in order to take those R abilities to the next level so we can actually see the 2000s. Because I actually hit 2,500 with Sephiroth, but that takes a lot of planning. But this is the basic gist of it. So what are you trying to achieve with Magic Attack? Are you just trying to pump it to the highest level? Well, you can do that, but with Magic Attack, you actually want to pair it with Potency. So when you look at this character again, you actually want to pair up this stat with boost ice potency or boost lightning potency, because a lot of enemies that are weak to magic attack are actually weak to elemental attacks as well. They kind of work in tandem. So when you build a character, not only do you think about magic attack, but you also have to think about elemental attack. The physical attack, you don't really have to worry about that as much because there are some enemies that are weak to physical attack that are just weak to physical attack. Say, for instance, the level 50 battle tower boss is weak to physical attack, and it doesn't matter what physical attack that you land. But that is not the case with magic attack. So keep that in mind when you're building this stat, that you want to pair it with the element always. It's something that we as content creators, people in the community, have to share with everybody else, because it's important to know that when you build this stat, think about it, the element that you're building it with. And with that, my time is up. If you like my content, hit the like, share, subscribe button. I'll get back to you. Have a great day and goodbye.